Hi, today I'm talking to Howard Cohen from Winston Solicitors. He's been practicing for over 35 years. Today, Howard, I wanted to talk to you about the pitfalls of making a homemade will. What are the downsides of making a homemade will?
Common mistakes are made, Johnny, in relation to the execution of wills. There are very strict rules set down in statute about how wills are signed and witnessed. Wills have to be witnessed by two independent people who are present at the same time. I've had a situation where clients come in to see me with a homemade will, and after asking questions of her, she's told me that she actually signed the will before the two witnesses did. They signed at a later date. So that will would have been totally invalid. There can be problems where, for instance, people amend their wills if they are not initialed by both the testator and the witnesses, then those alterations are invalid. Sometimes people mark their wills and it looks like the wills have been tampered with, and that can cause the wills to be rejected too. Now, also, wills, the wording in the wills can often be incorrect, and solicitors do use legal jargon, but they do that for a particular reason. Often the words used can be unclear, ambiguous. It can be cryptic instructions in the will. Sometimes the only person who actually understands the instructions will be that of the testator. Nobody else does. Also, people who make homemade wills sometimes miss out obvious clauses in a will. If, say, for instance, we saw the client and they had young children, we would advise them to have a guardianship clause in the will. But this is something which is usually omitted from a homemade will. If, say, for instance, a person making a will is due to get married, well, if you make a will and then you get married, it automatically revokes the will unless it's stipulated that it's to be in contemplation of marriage. Now, most people who make a homemade will would be aware of that. Also, homemade wills are far more likely to be challenged than professionally drawn wills. One of the benefits of a solicitor drawing a will for you is that the solicitor has sufficient experience to be able to assess whether or not you have mental capacity. And that solicitor's view on this can carry significant weight. So it's much more difficult to argue, say, for instance, they didn't have capacity. When you go and see a solicitor about making a will, he doesn't just prepare the will for you, he gives you advice and guidance. Now, lots of homemade wills are not tax efficient. Had you seen a solicitor, he could have assisted you in giving you advice about tax issues and made sure that the will would be a bit more tax efficient than what the homemade will would be. Furthermore, there's other issues which a solicitor knows about, which the general public wouldn't do. Say, for instance, if you jointly own a property with someone else, if it's held in a certain way as joint tenants, then it doesn't matter what you say in your will. It's your interest in that property won't pass to the person you want it to do. It will pass to the survivor. The solicitor will advise you, if you want it to pass to the person you want it to go to sever the joint tenancy in the property. This is an absolute minefield, and you need a solicitor to help get you through it. I've seen situations where people have made homemade wills and the family have suffered afterwards. The cost emotionally and financially to the family far exceeds the very small saving made by the testator by having a homemade will done.
Yeah, it sounds like it's money well spent.
Absolutely.
It produces something very robust in the end. That's been really good. Thank you, Howard. I look forward to speaking to you again. If people are wanting to get some advice or to take you up on the offer of putting a will together, what's the best way to contact you?
Yes, the best way to contact me is by going on our website, winstonssolicitors.co.uk. Thank you.
That's been brilliant. Look forward to speaking to you again. Take care.
Thank you.